とうございます。
One. Inoue, I'm proud of him. He's from Japan in Asia.
Your prediction, how does the fight end? Manny Pacquiao, Barrios. Decision or knockout?
Oh, I think a knockout. I think a knockout. Yeah, and I'm not just saying that because
What round?
I'll probably say mid, like late, probably 8 to 10.
Later in the fight?
I'll give that gap to 8 to 10.
Naoya Inoue recently visited Manny Pacquiao's training camp as Pacquiao prepares for his fight against Mario Barrios. Pacquiao praised Inoue's impressive achievements and highlighted how Inoue's fighting style reminds him of his own when he was younger. He spoke highly of Inoue's discipline, speed, and skill, saying he is proud of everything Inoue has accomplished and considers him a true representative of elite boxing.
Inoue, I'm proud of him. He's from Japan in Asia, in our place. So his style is like when I was young, like 15, like when I was 115, 122, 118. Inoue is he can fight in different weight division. If you want my advice how to do what to do, I can give him advice.
You can get him to 8 divisions.
I don't know. 8 division is hard to accomplish.
Manny Pacquiao recently told the media that he ranks Naoya Inoue above Gervonta Davis, underscoring that Inoue's blistering speed is the decisive factor. Pacquiao emphasized that in modern boxing, velocity and lightning-quick reflexes are paramount, and Inoue exemplifies this attribute. He commended the Japanese star's ability to launch combinations so swiftly that opponents struggle to mount adequate counter-responses, reaffirming that athletic speed remains the most effective path to dominance in the ring.
Inoue.
Why is that? Why does Inoue beat Gervonta if they could have figured out a fight?
Inoue is fast.
Inoue is fast.
In boxing, speed is the key.
Further expanding on his admiration, Pacquiao recognized not only Inoue's rapidity, but also his significant punching power. He expressed confidence that against Gervonta Davis, Inoue's well-rounded skill set would prevail. Highlighting both speed and strength, he noted Inoue's uncanny ability to finish fights in the middle rounds. Through these remarks, Pacquiao made clear how highly he holds Inoue's talents and why he deems him one of the most complete fighters in boxing today.
So Manny Pacquiao was asked who he thought would win against Gervonta Davis versus Naoya Inoue, and he says he fights like I used to. In a media scrum for his shock world title return against Mario Barrios, which I still can't believe is happening. He's 46 years old. I don't know why Mario Barrios signed. Obviously, everyone wants to fight a legend, but like, he's 46. You know what I mean? He could be your dad. But yeah, 8 division world champion Manny Pacquiao was asked to predict what he believes would happen if Davis and Inoue were to face each other at some point in the future. Inoue is fast. Inoue's style is like when I was young. I would definitely have to say not so much similar. I just feel like Pacquiao was a little bit more wilder. Inoue seems to have more compact, tighter punches, if that makes sense. But I can see the similarities in a sense that way. But yeah, I think, I don't know, it's hard. That's a lot of weight to cover. So I don't know who'd win that, honestly. Who do you guys think would win?
In a candid moment, Pacquiao named Naoya Inoue as his current favorite boxer. He emphasized how Inoue embodies the essence of what boxing should be: aggression, tempered with movement, charisma on the inside, and calculated precision. Pacquiao explained that Inoue reminds him of his own prime in his 20s, someone who never stayed still and imposed pressure through unrelenting footwork.
Do you still watch boxing now? Are you still into it? Do you enjoy watching boxing?
Yeah, because, boxing is my passion, so that's why I'm enjoying watching boxing.
Do you have a favorite fighter now that's active?
Right now, Asian, like Naoya Inoue.
Inoue, amazing fighter.
Yeah. He's a good fighter, and I hope that he will accomplish in different weight division also.
Yeah, he probably will. Such a quality fighter.
As fans eagerly await Manny Pacquiao's July 19th return to the ring against WBC champion Mario Barrios, the Filipino icon is undergoing a rigorous training camp. With a world title hanging in the balance, he has reunited with longtime trainer Freddie Roach and committed to a punishing regimen. Whether it's shadow boxing, high-intensity interval drills, or weights, Pacquiao's focus remains unwavering. Insiders say he is striving to return not simply for a nostalgic farewell, but as a contender ready to reclaim his place among the elite. One of Pacquiao's sparring partners recently projected a decisive 8th-round knockout against Barrios. He praised Pacquiao's sustained quickness. Remarkably, he believes Pacquiao still outpaces many of his opponents in their physical prime. The sparring camp reportedly features high-tempo rounds where Manny's sharp counters and slick footwork leave younger partners on the back foot. This confidence showcases the belief within his camp that speed remains his greatest equalizer.
Not like other fighters are doing right now, you know?
He's faster than any 26-year-old. He runs faster than the whole. He's running with a bunch of lions, like young, hungry lions, and he's outpacing. Like today, he ran the hill in record speed. I drove, he ran, and he got there like 1 minute after me.
Yeah, I just heard he did like an hour 25 minutes running uphill.
And then shadow boxing, then 1,600 sit-ups.
So that's something, you know, that some of us at this age are like, you know, we kind of, you're not seeing people doing that. So it's like
15 and 118. He could have fought 150, 118 on the same day and become a 10. Without giving away the game plan, because you're in the gym with him, obviously. Give me your prediction. How does the fight end? Manny Pacquiao, Barrios. Decision or knockout?
Oh, I think a knockout. I think a knockout. Yeah, and I'm not just saying that because
What round?
I'll probably say mid, like late, probably 8 to 10.
Later in the fight?
I'll give that gap, the 8 to 10 gap. I'll say around there. And I'm saying I'm calling a right hand. I'm calling a right hand. You know,
how hard does he hit?
You know, he's a solid dude. That's what I can say. That's what I can say. He's a solid guy. He's a really solid.
Mario Barrios has responded with determination to the narrative around his age disadvantage. At 30, he says he has youth on my side, openly acknowledging Pacquiao's legendary status but refusing to be overshadowed. Barrios emphasized that this assignment against a 46-year-old legend is not a soft test, and he intends to challenge Manny in all aspects: speed, stamina, and ring craft. His confidence reflects a champion unwilling to let experience intimidate him.
You're 30, he's 46, hasn't fought in 4 years. Like, in your mind, how do you see the fight going? How are you going to beat Manny, or what do you see yourself doing to him?
Yeah, I just had to use, you know, all of that, you know, like the, you know, as busy as I've been in my career, you know, the attributes I have, you know, the skill set I have, you know, the youth is on my side. So it's my job just to go in there, use all of that again, and just make sure, you know, like I still walk out holding that title. I said, I mean, at the end it's kill or be killed. You know, I know, you know, like if he has been hurt at any point, you know, he's gonna be the same way. Like I said, you know, it's just my job, you know, just to work on everything. Me and my team have been, you know, training and drilling, you know, these last couple weeks. And, you know, finish off these next 6, you know, as best as we can, you know, so I could go in there come fight night and, you know, still retain the title.
All right, guys.
Oscar de la Hoya, who shared a storied rivalry with Pacquiao, praised Manny's decision to take on Barrios at this stage of his career. He commended the fight as more than a sporting contest. It represents the courage to seek meaningful confrontation, not easy wins. De La Hoya noted that Barrios is a credible opponent with a proven record, and thus Pacquiao is not merely chasing headlines but cementing his legacy through genuine competition.
I would ask a simple question, and please, Manny, tell me the truth. Why? That's it. That's it. Why? Why are you coming back? And the warrior that Manny is, he's gonna be like, because I love to fight and I want to fight the best, and I've been watching boring fights and I want to come back and give a show against Barrios, who's a world champion. That's a true legend for you.
Undefeated contender Rolly Romero added an intriguing dimension, stating that regardless of the outcome, Pacquiao's status as a legend remains untouchable. Romero even voiced interest in meeting Manny in the ring next, suggesting such a matchup would electrify fans worldwide. Romero's comments frame the bout as a symbolic passage, where a legend vies to reaffirm himself while the sport's next wave looks on hungrily.
Which fighters actually fought?
Rolly Pacquiao.
Barrios, do you think he beats Barrios?
Don't matter if he beats Barrios or not. Still, Rolly Pacquiao. How many losses does Pacquiao have? Oh, that's another thing, bro. Pacquiao another one that don't give a fuck about losses, and everyone keep tuning in for him, right? Bro, all that undefeated shit, that don't mean shit if you're not fighting nobody. Nobody gives a fuck about you.
Combat analyst Ryan Campbell assessed Pacquiao's return, highlighting that despite being 46, Manny's speed still surpasses that of many average welterweights. While Campbell conceded that Pacquiao may lack some explosive agility from his peak, he emphasized the Filipino's refined timing, instinctive footwork, and veteran boxing intelligence.
The much younger, the 29-year-old Mario Barrios.
Look, I'm not saying the odds will be high that he's going to come back and pull this upset or even be ultra competitive. But again, it's sort of like Manny's already superhuman. Turning pro at like age 15 or 16 at 106 pounds and winning titles in 8 divisions. And oh, by the way, 2 fights ago for Manny in 2019, he came out of retirement and beat an unbeaten Keith Thurman for the welterweight title at the age of 40. There's very few greats that you can call all-time greats, and I think sometimes even above that category, there's that upper room. Is Manny Pacquiao one of those in boxing history? Sure. But let's look at a couple things. The last thing to go is power, yes. Manny was also absurdly fast in his prime. So like a Roy Jones Jr. who hung on far too long, but was still fighting professionally at the age of 50, he still got speed that kind of compares to the average or above average speed that's out there today.
Camp footage and media clips reveal Pacquiao punching with focus and speed, combinations that come in tight bursts of flurries aimed at refining technique and rhythm. His footwork, essential to his signature style, remains impressive. At an age when most fighters have long since retired, Pacquiao's dedication inside camp is striking. Detailed drill work, like mid-range combination sequences, defensive parrying, precision punching, and full ring movement, suggests an athlete approaching a fight with surgical care. The result is a training atmosphere characterized not by fading intensity, but by meticulous refinement.
Roger Fernandez. Si Roger Fernandez.
Promoter Frank Warren and pundit Simon Jordan openly criticized the WBC and athletic commissions for permitting a 46-year-old Pacquiao to compete for a world title. Both described the situation as unnecessary and cautioned it could prematurely risk a storied legacy. They warned that allowing such high-stakes contests for aging fighters might harm boxing's reputation and suggested it reflects poor governance within sanctioning bodies.
Absolutely, explaining Frank can speak to it far more eloquently than I can. I think it's a disgraceful decision. I think it's an appalling decision. I mean, the WBC make lots of appalling decisions, and I'm not a big fan of them. But the fact of the matter is Pacquiao is a legend of the sport. I don't know why they'd want to do it, whether it's the fees that they get as a result of it or whether it's the publicity. Boxing is in a brilliant position right now because of the Frank Warrens in the world and the relationships that he's developed over the last couple of years with the Saudis. That's opened the door for everybody else. We're getting brilliant fights. We don't need to rehash somebody that's forming against a world champion who isn't a great world champion, but that's not the point. The optics of this, the reality of this, there's no necessity for it besides the WBC doing it for, I think, illegitimate reasons.
Why? I mean, Frank, you know the sport inside out. It seems to me, why does boxing always seem to allow for these kind of stories to manifest themselves?
Well, it's not boxing. doing it. It's the governing body. I mean, it's their title, and they decide who can fight for their title. So that rests with the governing body. I mean, for me, George Foreman came back, but he came back at an old age and won the title at 50 years. He was 50 years of age when he fought. You know, you look at.
But he didn't go straight into a world title fight, though, did he, Frank? He built up.
Sorry, that's the point I was going to make. You know, you come in and you test the water. Go straight in for a world title.
In direct interviews, Pacquiao rejected the notion that financial gain motivated his return. Instead, he spoke about an emotional void he experienced when away from the sport, missing the discipline, daily grind, and adrenaline of competition. He framed boxing as a personal calling, not a commercial endeavor, highlighting charitable causes and public service as evidence of his priorities.
How much of this comeback is about money, if at all?
No, the comeback, the reason why I come back is because I want to, I miss boxing. I mean, I want to be a champion again. And I can still that. In my heart, in my mind, I can still be a champion.
Sebastian Fundora, a rising talent, stressed that reverence for legends is useless once the bell rings. He said Barrios must fight with confidence, aggression, and tact to nullify Pacquiao's aura. For Fundora, it's about tactical execution, using youth and athlete conditioning to seize opportunities regardless of legacy.
I don't know. I haven't seen Pacquiao. Barrios been looking good. Well, besides that last fight with Ramos, but he's been looking good. He's been using his range real nice. I like Barrios.
If you're in Barrios' shoes, you're fighting like a legend, like a guy you've grown up watching. Is there like a mental process you have to go through to make sure you don't show him too much respect on fight night?
If it was me, I think, I don't know, I just fight him the way I always fight him. No respect in the ring. There's no respect in the ring, you know. Pacquiao's Pacquiao. Pacquiao's a legend. He's going into Hall of Fame
this year.
Yeah, this year. So yeah, next week. There we go. And Canastota. So you know, he's always gonna be a legend no matter what. But what you do in the ring is completely different. There's no respect in the ring. Shouldn't be.
Former world champion Ricky Hatton, echoing broader concerns, cautioned that allowing Pacquiao to return at 46 for a high-profile title fight could set a damaging precedent. Drawing parallels with past comebacks that ended in physical decline, Hatton warned that even the greatest athletes might tarnish their legacies if they return too late. His comments underline fears that the sport and fans could witness a tragic erosion of boxing icons.
4 years he's fighting for the WBC welterweight title. That's July the 19th in Vegas, ironically. What did you make of that news when you heard it?
Well, it's boxing today, isn't it? To be honest with you, boxing's, you know, if you can let a 58-year-old Mike Tyson box a Jake Paul, then, you know, Manny Pacquiao going back at 46 doesn't look too bad, does it? But Manny's coming back, though. You know, Tyson was coming back fighting Jake Paul. Manny's coming back fighting for the world title. But, and I say this with love, you know, how has Manny got his world title shot? He's been retired 6 years. He can't. He's got that on a previous successes, hasn't he? You know, to walk straight after being retired so many years ago, straight into a world title fight. How is that allowed possible? What happened? Surely he must have been dropped out of the rankings when he retired. All of a sudden, he decided to make a comeback. They put him straight in at #1 contender. I think only boxing can answer that.
I think did you say 5th, Joe? He's been already placed 5th in the world ranking.
You know, when you've been retired years and, you know, on your previous... He was a hell of a fighter a few years back, but we don't know what he's going to be like today. So, you know, you'd like to think he'd have a couple of warm-up fights so we can say, yeah, and then get him in. But boxing these days, I think the money's everything in it.
You fought both, obviously. In your opinion, who's better? Who's tougher?
I think Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, I think Floyd Mayweather. I mean, and that sounds rich because he absolutely was probably one of the most brutal knockouts in boxing history, I'd say. You know what I mean? When I see him getting knocked out by Pacquiao on Instagram or YouTube or anything like that, it's in the top 10 of the most destructive knockouts of all time.
Yeah.
But I was a little bit past myself back in the day. You know, I'd had one or two. You know, I wasn't a master of defence like Floyd Mayweather. I'd take 4 to get one in sometimes, you know.
Fans and industry voices have expressed nostalgic excitement over his comeback, but also legitimate concern about his well-being. Many refer back to examples like Mike Tyson's later years, once glorious comebacks that ended painfully.
Let's talk about Manny Pacquiao. The fight between Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios is now official. July 19th on pay-per-view in Las Vegas. We saw video this week, Sergio, of Manny Pacquiao back at Wild Card, like he's never left, ready to go again, working with Freddie Roach. I feel like I'm back in 2010, the Wayback Machine. Pacquiao looked pretty good in some of the videos that I saw, like he wasn't in horrible shape, but he is 46 years old, going up against a guy that is more than a decade younger than him in Mario Barrios. Bob Arum, in the same interview, he said that he was worried about Manny Pacquiao. This is a guy that promoted Pacquiao for most of his professional career, not promoting this fight against Barrios, but he said he is concerned for Pacquiao going into this fight. Do you have concerns about Pacquiao going in?
No, I don't have concerns. And post a video and look good for 10 seconds right now. Just like when Mike Tyson looked like a killer when he was promoting the Jake Paul fight. You writers and you guys with the non-boxing, I need to get those videos out of your head, because they're just clips. Anyone could look good for that long. I can train you to look good for 10 seconds. It'll be pretty hard, but I can train you to look good for 10 seconds on video. So don't worry about that. I look, Bob Arum knows what he's talking about, because it's the legs that's going to get to Pacquiao, not the power, not the explosive speed in front of a heavy bag. But whenever you're in front of an opponent and he's going to be moving around, it's the legs that are going to fail you. They're going to betray you. The power's not going to betray you. That lasts until the very end. His punch resistance, that's not going to betray him, because that never goes. Speed, and it's because you rely on your legs. That's the thing that goes at age. So at 46 years old, Manny Pacquiao's not going to have zero legs. This is a man that made a career.
The debate hinges on the balance between honoring a legend and safeguarding his health, reinforcing how emotionally invested the boxing public remains in Manny's journey. The upcoming bout transcends belts. It's a symbolic face-off between boxing's golden era and its future. Pacquiao's storied career, marked by championships across 8 divisions, contrasts sharply with Barrios' ascendant prime. The tension between legacy and ambition creates a compelling narrative, but also raises ethical questions about physical disparity and risk. It's a matchup that promises drama, with fans watching to see whether experience and heart can outlast youth and raw athleticism.
Manny Pacquiao's fighting Mario Barrios for a welterweight championship. And he's 46 years old. I did a whole video about how I think this is really sad, because Manny Pacquiao shouldn't be fighting at 46 years old, because, you know, brain injuries. But if he wins, that can make the welterweight division crazy. If you don't know, the welterweight division has been historically a great one in boxing, but lately has been pretty dead. Boots Ennis is the best guy in it, and one of the reasons you may not have heard of him is because there's no one else for him to really fight in that division, so he just dominates it. Everyone's been talking about how there hasn't been big names in the welterweight division, but now it's getting stacked with big names. Not necessarily the best fighters, but big names that are fun. Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao. This division is getting absolutely insane, and Boots Ennis has a chance to run through it. Because honestly, I don't think any of those guys are better than him, and he will get the credit he deserves. What do you guys think about all this? Let me know.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.